And I'm not done yet.
Well, I'm a little worried about gluten-free and flour and all that stuff. Actually, I gave you some guarantee that you can right? It's really good.
Yeah, it's working for me. It's
It's
good.
working for you. You will come again?
Heavens, yes.
What do you have to say?
I've been to many different African restaurants in the Twin Cities, and there aren't very many in this area. And so this is my first time.
We're the first African restaurant in the mall.
Yeah.
In Minnesota.
Wow.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And even just outside the mall, there's not much around here.
That's right.
Me and my wife, we naturally don't want to work for nobody. We have always believed that the secret of success in America, it's when you start calling the shots yourself. When you start paying somebody to do a job for you, that's when you start earning money. Not when you go in to work for somebody and clock in and they give you a paycheck.
Welcome to Afrisota, shining a light on the vibrant heart of the African immigrant community in Minnesota. Today we're taking you inside JTC African Cuisine, a culinary gem located at the Northtown Mall in Blaine. Owned and managed by inspiring and passionate entrepreneurs, JTC African Cuisine isn't just a restaurant. It is a bridge connecting cultures, a place where the rich flavors of Africa meet the welcoming spirit of Minnesota. If you're new to the channel, make sure you check part 1 of JTC African Cuisine, where we sat with the CEO of this establishment, Dr. Alice Atem. Today we sit with the managing director of JTC African Cuisine to hear his side of the story, to see how this is run from the inside, and of course to get inspired. Please subscribe, like, and share this video. First, we want to thank you very much for opening your doors and letting us to the back end of JTC African Cuisine. In part 1, we heard so many good things about your part of this story, your part of this journey. Please, I'd like you to introduce yourself to our viewers and let us know where this idea of JTC African Cuisine came from.
Okay. I am Dr. Felix Eroto, and my wife is Dr. Alice Eroto. We both have doctorate degrees, but we decided to pursue something that we are very passionate about, which is feeding the hungry people. You understand? We realized that in Minnesota, there is no good African restaurant that provides good food. And we saw that opportunity and we decided to tap into it. We've been in business since 2016, actually. We're doing home cooking, as well doing our doctorate program, master's program consecutively. We decided to leave cooking at home after we realized that it's time for us to showcase our business. And then we decided to get a storefront, which is located at 517 Northtown Drive, Blaine, Minnesota, inside the food court of Northtown Mall. So we came in here May of last year. And then it's been a little rough. You know, getting the storefront is a little bit tough, trying to get your audience, especially when the mall is not a very busy place. But thank God things have been working out for us because we do a lot of catering. Our food is top notch. It's top of the line. People can testify to it. You can see from our Google reviews, a lot of customers are so satisfied. We have very good food. African food cut across West Africa, Nigeria, Cameroon, Liberia, Ghana, Sierra Leone. We're beginning to catch a lot of people from East Africa too. So we have some chapati to cover the South African audience. Chapati, mandazi. We're trying to get into East African dishes. Yeah. So we're trying to get into ugali and some other stuff. But we have masa. We have a lot of variety. So our restaurant is a niche market for us, and we do have. My wife keeps saying we don't have a competition, and I believe her because I used to eat in some of the other restaurants who claim to be our competitors, but there's no comparison. So we've been in business. We've been doing well. I won't lie to you. We are looking to open another location anytime soon in the Brooklyn Park axis where we have a complete target market. But a lot of customers drive all the way from Apple Valley, which is like an hour's drive to come get their food. And then we have present online too with a lot of customers ordering from DoorDash, Uber Eats, Chow Now, and then direct orders from the mall customers. Business has been good, and we are looking forward to summertime where we have huge market, which is our prime period. We have a tournament coming up, which is the Cameroonian Vet Star thing. Minnesota is hosting, and so we're looking at hosting the whole of the United States and Canada, people coming to watch this match. And we've been getting orders from the soccer teams all over the states, telling us that we must cater for their individual teams. And then we are going to be present at the Minnesota State Fair for the first time this year, starting from August 23rd to Labor Day. So we'll be running the State Fair at the same time we're running the Vesta competition. So we are going to buff up our staff strength to catch up with the demands of our customers.
What country are you from?
I'm from Nigeria, precisely from Warri, Delta State.
And you're married to?
Cameroonian. Wow. Love has taken me far into the Bayangi area of Cameroon. Wow. So my Nigerian brothers don't even call me Nigerian anymore.
Now you mentioned something very important. You mentioned that you and your wife are Ph.D. holders. And this just tells to the story of many African immigrants who leave Africa and make this journey to the United States after having accomplished so much academically. How do you feel, and what would you say to other Africans out there about following a passion like this? You are a PhD holder, your wife is a PhD holder, but here you are running a cuisine, an African cuisine. How does this feel for you?
We enjoy it. We enjoy it. There's this fulfillment that you get when you see people eating your food and getting so satisfied. It's different from going to the office and doing some kind of job. And me and my wife, we naturally don't want to work for nobody. We have always believed that the secret of success in America, it's when you start calling the shots yourself. When you start paying somebody to do a job for you, that's when you start earning money. Not when you go in to work for somebody and clock in and they give you a paycheck. So we've worked before, so we see the difference. It's different. You go work for 2 weeks, you get a paycheck, maximum $6,000, $7,000. One day we can just cook and we get $15,000. So why would I go work for somebody? Oh, I just came back from delivering from a catering service. I am so happy with what I'm doing. I see myself setting up tables. My wife setting up the food. I just came from a setup, and people know me that I have a doctorate degree. And sometimes in life, you just put down your ego and do what makes you happy. It's very fulfilling. I have my doctorate in business. She has in education. Yes. Childcare development, has in childcare development. Mine is in management and strategy. So the back end of this business is run by me. And then field work. I do the main field work. I go out there to deliver. I go talk. We do a lot of corporate events too. We cater for companies. We had a lot of corporate events last year, and we're getting the corporate market together. We're getting it together.
Of course, food is a universal language. And when you thought of opening JTC African Cuisine, who were your target audience in mind? Who were you hoping to serve?
We were kind of leery initially when we wanted to start this business. Like, okay, who is going to be our target audience now? Who is going to be our market? Is it going to be the African population? I'll be honest with you. It's a very tiny percentage of Nigerians that come in here to eat my food. Maybe a reasonable proportion of percentage of Cameroonians come to eat too. But the bulk of my customers are Asians and white folks, and then African Americans. You don't want to see white folks sit out there eating fufu and egusi soup with their fingers. I didn't understand this initially until I knew that, oh, this is where I really wanted this business to get to. So as I speak to you right now, we are not catering for a particular demographic, like say this is an African thing. You understand? So we are catering for human beings who are hungry to eat good food. You asked the question about Africans coming with degrees and all that. My take on that is whatever profession that you have a background in, it is good to have a background because you can always fall back to it. You understand? Most of the things I learned from school doing a doctorate, I had a master's in business, I had a bachelor's in marketing. So some of all these backgrounds, they come to play when I do this business. I see it somehow. You won't really know that you're doing it, but some of the things, some of the nuggets I got from school, I see me putting them to work, and it's working really well for me. So my advice is those that have degrees in different professions, accounting, engineering, business, whatever profession that you have in, and you believe that there is something that you want to do that has to do with a trade or business or a skill, go for it. Because trust me, the biggest way of making wealth is doing something that you enjoy doing and getting paid for it. We got up 6:30 this morning because we got to deliver at noon. We got here at 7 o'clock. I got my other staffs, picked them up, and then we got here. Everybody was rolling. She was rolling on that side. I was rolling the plantain on this side. It's the teamwork. And teamwork, you get better results.
Wow, what an incredible journey. What an incredible story. Now, if you're listening to this or watching this, remember to subscribe, like, share the video to get more stories like this and to reach out to as many people as we can. Life in the United States is already a challenge for many African immigrants, and I believe with such inspiration, we can be able to live a better life in this country, especially here in the heart of Minnesota. Now, what are the projections? Obviously, you've picked up here in Northtown Mall in Minnesota. What are the prospects? What do you have in mind for JTC?
We have a projection of opening locations at the Minnesota MSP Airport, Atlanta Airport, and New York Airport. Those are our projections. And we have a 5-year long-term plan for it. But we hope God is going to help us to achieve this, because me and my wife were traveling to South Africa last year for vacation. And then we stopped at the Atlanta airport, the food court, and we ate some food, and we spent almost $30 each person. And then I was like, what would Africans feel waiting at the Atlanta airport? Because the African terminal is one terminal. So you see everybody's there. All Africans are flying from that location, going to Nigeria, Ghana. So what will it cost me to open a location right at that airport and let people eat jollof rice and egusi soup and pounded yam while waiting for a 4 hours layover flight to catch to Africa? I think it's a no-brainer. So that's where we are projecting. And once we're able to get one of the airports, my brother, my story has changed. My story has changed. Wow. We're doing very well. We're doing very well. We thank God for everything.
Wow, what an inspiration. You and your wife are PhD holders, and you demystify the title that most PhD holders will hold so high and stay in boxes. Now, do you ever have moments when people look down on you because you're serving food? I know we come from cultures where there is so much labeling, especially when somebody is providing a service like serving food to people. Do you ever experience moments when you feel looked down upon or being disrespected? You have a PhD, but you're serving food, and this is what you do for a living. Do you get that experience? Do people look down on you when you do these services?
Honestly, one thing I really don't like is to put myself out there in, to somebody to let him know that I am a doctor. I want you to find out, and I enjoy staying humble, myself and my wife. We stay very humble. We come here, some days we sit down in front there, attending to customers. There was something happened recently. A 17-year-old girl came there, and she came and said, she wants to try the egusi soup that it's trending on TikTok. I'm like, okay, why not? Why not? Go for it. That's the biggest seller that we have. And she said, if I taste the food, if it's not good, I might come back and mess you up. She used the F word. She was very rude. So, okay. I said, oh, okay. I said, oh, why don't you give it a try? If it's not good, I'm not going to say I'll give you your money back, but customer service. But I'll make it up to you. And she like, I promise you, I'll mess you up if the food is not good. I'm like, okay, you know what? It's okay. I'm not going to take it from you anymore. If you know you don't want to buy, you can go to the next store, and then no sooner she realized we have a picture of ourselves up there in a coffee mug of our graduation with our doctoral robe, and she saw it, and she like, who is that? I like, that's me and my wife. And she like, you guys are doctors? I like, yeah. And then she like, much respect. And then she apologized. And so sometimes let people find out. It's not really good. It's yours, so it's not for the other person. So it's mine. I shouldn't be too proud about it. But we've had customers who come in here and saw and realized that we are both doctors, and they were very, very happy, and they were very humble. They're like, and you guys are doing this. Well, you guys are good. You guys are good. You guys are smart.
Now, the one thing I find in your story between you and your wife, which is a practical way of looking at education. The societies where we grew up in, they tell us go to school, get the degrees, get employed, get a job. But I don't think that's the orientation we should be having right now in modern times. Education is very important, don't get me wrong. And going to school, obtaining a degree and getting a job is equally very important, and it's fine. But guess what? A lot of graduates today do not even have jobs. And so I believe that the orientation to education should be go to school, get educated, get knowledge so that you can identify gaps in society and try to create solutions to solve these problems, to solve these gaps in society. And I believe you do that, you can definitely make a fortune with your life. Now, a lot of people talk about financial freedom and forget about time freedom, which is very important. Tell me something about financial freedom and time freedom since you started JTC African Cuisine.
Okay. Time freedom is now we call our shots. We're not restricted to, hey, you got to go to bed at 8 o'clock and wake up at 7 because you got to go clocking. We know, okay. I just tell my wife, you know what? How about let's just close the store for 1 week and let's go to South Africa let's go chill. And then we put up a sign and say, hey, due to some other business commitments, the store will be closed for X and X days and will be reopened at X days. It's our business. We are losing money going out, which is not actually business-wise is not really smart. I should have allowed some of my staff run the store while I was away, but because I was still training them then, I wasn't very sure if they could manage it in our absence. But as at now, if we want to travel, we got everything together. So we can manage our time. We know what to do with time. We know the value of time. And then for financial freedom, now that I know that somebody doesn't call the amount of money in my pocket, I can determine how much money I want to earn. If we decide to say, okay, we want to stay up late today, more than 8 p.m. that we close, and work till 10 p.m., it is assumed that it is assumed that we can leave the store open and then make more money. So the more time we put to it, the more money in our pocket. And then we try to do a lot of advertising. We do. We're very much present on the social media and all that stuff. And then with that, we kind of have a jump and a boost on our finances. So we're like this summer, we know that a lot of catering work will be doing. The amount that we're going to realize, it's going to be something that you like. Okay, if I was doing a 9 to 5, I probably would have worked seven maybe as a doctor. If I was lecturing, I would earn $140,000 a year. But I can do 4 events right now and earn $140,000. So and the year is still new if the weather permits. The bad thing about Minnesota is we kind of have a downside sometimes when the weather is very cold. Storefront is a little slow. The online order boosts up a little bit because people don't want to drive in the snow and they want to order online. But catering, people don't have occasions at that season. So Minnesota sometimes is a little iffy when it comes to business because you're making all the same funds that you're making in the warm weather during the cold season.
Your story is very inspiring, and I have learned a lot personally. And I believe if you're watching this, you've picked up one or two things that has really inspired you too.
I learned a lot from you too, especially you realizing that if you find an opportunity in America and you tap yourself into that opportunity, you get paid for it. And that's the dream every African should have, that there are a lot of opportunities here. Just look for what people need that you think you can provide. Services, whatever it is, goods or services, whatever you think there's a need for it. Fill up that need and you make money. Trust me.
I must say your journey, your story is quite inspirational. Now do me a favor. It's between you and this camera. Sell JTC to the world.
Okay, there's no way I can sell JTC without, first of all, letting the world understand that this is a generational business. JTC is just an acronym for the first letters of my 3 boys. So the J stands for Jamal, which is my youngest son, and the T stands for Tyler, which is the middle son, and the C is Cody, who is my oldest son. So we had a dream when we were setting up this business. We're like, you know what? Let's do a business that our kids will grow up to say, this is like KFC. You know, it's been there for a century. So JTC, it's a brand right now. It's not just a restaurant. It's a brand. So we have a niche market. We're different. Our food is so cool, so unique, so sumptuous, so tasty that you can't resist coming back. So every time I try to sell to a customer out there in front, I keep telling them, trust me, I'll put my money on it. You will come back. And 9 out of 10 times, I don't want to say 10 over 10 because there's always a room for, yes. I leave that. Yeah. But 9 out of 10 times, they come back and like, you are right. I'm like, I know what I was saying because I know my food is good. Based on what I see out there, my food is good. So JTC is a brand, is a name that you need to be a part of. It's a movement. It's something that my kids and my grandchildren will keep rolling on. It's not just a restaurant that we will need to put money in our pocket. It's something that we need to get across the world. You know, so come wherever you are in America, Canada, North America, Mexico, wherever you are visiting Minnesota, please find JTC African Cuisine. We are located right now at 517 Northtown Drive in Northtown Mall at the food court. Very soon, we'll be having locations in different other parts of Minnesota. But for now, endeavor, as soon as you get off the airport, as soon as you get off the bus from the Greyhound station, ask anybody, where is JTC? Grab a cab, take an Uber, come to JTC, get lunch, dinner. We open at about 12 o'clock and then we close at 8 p.m. But if you have parties that you want us to cater for, you can do that. We have a website, www.jtccatering.com. You can send me an email, info@jtc.com. So you can reach us through a lot of social media outlets, which is Facebook, Instagram, and all that stuff. We are present online. So JTC, it's a name you really want to be part of. We're trying to get quite a reasonable number of people master our restaurants. We otherwise, if you call me and say, hey, if you're a Nigerian, do you have unkwobi or do you have isiewu, which is goat head and all that kind of special delicacies? We do them, but it has to be customized. People call sometimes and say, hey, how can I get snail on my okra soup or egusi soup? We have all that stuff. We'll customize it for you. But for now, we don't have those special items on our menu. So on our menu right now, we have jollof rice, fried rice, dodo, chicken, fish. We do grilled fish, what Cameroonians call croissant braisé. I don't know if my French is right, but croissant braisé is croissant braisé. You know, so it's a grilled fish or roasted fish like what you guys eat at Down Beach in Limbe. You know, so we do all that. We have for soups. We have eforiro, which is the spinach stew. We have ogbono soup. We have okra soup. We have dole. We have eru, which Nigerians call edekainko. So we have that. We have some other soup that's like afam. We have achu soup. We have dole and plantain. And then what else we have? We have a lot of pastries. Pastries we are big on. We do small chops too. By the way, we do small chops. If you are having an event, corporate events, small parties office parties that you don't need too much of eating, you just need puff puff, fish roll, meat pies, samosas, all that stuff. We have all of them ready for you to pick up. So we do a lot of packing too. Our packaging is top notch. So if you want us to plate your food, let's say you want to cater for 200 people, and it's like a meeting. You don't want feeding to distort the meeting. You just want 200 plates to come after the meeting. Everybody grabs a plate and leave. We do all that plating, special plating. So we plate the 200 foods, put them in containers and put them in boxes, hot, ready, just came from the fire, and we give utensils, serving utensils, and then you can give your guests to take away. So we do all that, and we do a lot of Christmas parties and for companies and all that stuff. So that's where we are at right now.
Wow, here is another customer at JTC, and this sumptuous dish you can see right here. I think this is the jollof rice, and you have it right there with some dodos. Wow. Hello, excuse me. Sorry. Please, how do you like this experience? What's your name and how do you like the experience here at JTC?
Yeah, I'm called Jude. Um, it's my first time being in GTC. When I was first told about it, and I came here to see and to test the delicious type of rice, and it was so nice. I wish somebody comes over and enjoy it as well.
Beautiful, beautiful,
So
beautiful.
delicious. The same Germans say lecker. And it's-
Jude here speaks German too. Can you say something in German for the Germans in Minnesota so they can have some feel of JTC?
Wo ich bin eingeladen hier in dieses Restaurant. Ich bin informiert, dass gibt auch die heißen in Afrika Jollof Rice. Und ich habe den probiert. Ist so lecker. Und jeden kann auch probieren. Jeden soll hier kommen. GTC, afrikanische Cuisine. Und kannst du da richtig gute, leckere Sachen finden. Dankeschön.
Dankeschön, Dankeschön, Dankeschön. What is also very interesting about your story is the fact that you're married to a Cameroonian, you're Nigerian, you're married to a Cameroonian. You must have some good sense of diversity. And I want to believe that whatever you're doing here at JTC spreads that gospel of diversity, spreads that cultural diversity that we Africans come with to Minnesota. And we are able to also learn something from the cultures here, as well as teach something of our own culture in this society. Tell me something about diversity.
One of the reasons that the world is a beautiful place is because of its diversity. You know, you learn different cultures. I now learned how to eat some Cameroonian food. I now know how Cameroonians behave. You know, there's a cultural difference. We might be similar because of being West or Central Africa, but I know that it's a good thing to marry somebody that's not from your demographic. You understand? Because it gives you the opportunity to learn a new culture, a new habits, sociology. It's different people, different style.
And there you have it, JTC African Cuisine, brought to you by Afrisota Digital. What a story, what a journey, what an ambition, what an inspiration. Make sure you visit JTC African Cuisine Northtown Mall in Blaine. Now hold on. I mean you, yes. Do me a favor. Ask yourself, have I liked? Have I subscribed? Have I shared? Have I dropped my comments? If you have not, what are you waiting for? Help support and promote Afrisota Digital, where we aspire to inspire. Until next time, bye-bye.